Ever wish people would trust you more? Ever wish that when you said something, people actually believe what you said? Well, me frickin' too. The other day I made a tweet about this. I'll share with you the tweet, and I want to extend and elaborate a bit on what it is I said because I think it's really important. I think that we live in a day and age now where one of the most crucial, if not the most crucial things is trust. It's belief. Nowadays, there's so many people claiming so many outrageous things. It's not that people don't make good offers anymore. It's that people don't believe the offers they make. And so the biggest problem that we're having to solve as entrepreneurs in this day and age is not that, we're not making that we're making bad offers. It's that we're making offers so good that people almost don't believe what we're saying. And you could promise somebody the world, but if they don't believe it, it doesn't really matter. And so read you the tweet, the quote, the X, whatever people call it nowadays, which is this. Want to make people trust you more. If you do, say what they are secretly saying to themselves. Admit your flaws, be honest with your intentions, be unique, and be creative. And I guess I want to elaborate a bit more on this and share with you how you can do this in a practical sense and actually apply this tactically and whatnot, because I think it's super, super important. It's something I try and actively do all the time. And I guess I'll be straightforward and tell you that I'm probably not the most credible person to speak on this subject, nor am I guaranteeing this will work for you, but I will try my best to share with you some of my experiences on things that have worked for me, and hey, who knows, you can apply them, maybe try them out yourselves. For context, that was a damaging admission, which is me trying to build trust. So I just did that with you, okay? And I guess to go a bit further on this, when I mentioned that, say what they're secretly saying to themselves, people are always thinking things, right? Right now, you're probably thinking about me. Why the fuck is this guy sitting here with this fucking hoodie thing on at night talking about this? Who is this guy? Why is he talking about this? To be honest, man, fuck if I know. But do any of us really know what the fuck we're doing? Probably not. And so that was another example of me trying to address the things that people are subconsciously thinking. And so when I say this, it's like when you cold call someone, deep down they're already thinking that they don't like you. The last thing they want to do is waste their time. The last thing they want to do is get pitched, and the last thing they want to do is hear another scammy offer that people are guaranteeing going to make them a bunch of money. Like that's what they're already thinking, and they're basically just finding a way for them to hang up the phone nicely without sounding like too much of a dick. That's what the people are already thinking. And so when I say build trust, if you can admit that to the person that, hey man, I understand that you already feel all these ways about me, and I get that. And honestly, man, I understand that. And I don't blame you for feeling that way because I feel the same way people cold call me. You've already established so much rapport and so much trust with the prospect because you're acknowledging them. You're acknowledging them and their feelings and who they are. Because you're not just out here only thinking for yourself. You're acknowledging how the prospect may feel. Maybe they hate getting cold called. Maybe they despise it. But if you can admit that and say, hey man, I know that you hate this. I know the last thing you want to do is have another 18-year-old kid pitch you about how you can run ads better for you. You've already built up so much trust with the prospect because you've now said out loud to them what they were already thinking of you. And when you do this, people start to go, yeah, yeah. Have you ever had somebody like talk to you and basically tell you how you're feeling better than you can explain, and you just sit there like this? Yeah, that's me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you have, how did you feel? Did you feel cared about? Did you feel heard? Right? You probably did. And so let me ask you this. Did you trust that person then? Probably. And so what has that just taught us? That when you say the things that people are too afraid to say, or the people that are already thinking, and you say it to them and you acknowledge how they feel, you build trust with people because then people know that you care. One of the best ways to build trust with somebody is let them know you care. And I'm not talking about tell them that you care. Show them that. Show them that to a point where they don't even have to question if you care, but they know it deep down. That's how you can really build trust. Another thing I want to add to this is the admitting your flaws thing, right? The damaging admissions, right? Which is one of the most important things because nowadays we live in a day and age, once again, where people are always boasting and boasting and boasting and boasting, boasting about this and 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 this, and trying to make themselves all too perfect. If we look at social media, fundamentally, social media is meant to display yourself as all too perfect. It's to get rid of the flaws and only show the highlights. Quite literally, posting on Instagram is highlights. They're called highlights, even the stories, right? All it is highlights of someone's life, not the flaws. And so we start to see these people as all, like, not real almost. And so when you can admit your flaws and show to these people that, hey man, I'm just as human as you are, And while on the outside we all may look perfect and try and act this way, I'm just another human like you are, and I fuck up too. And I want to be very clear that I'm a human. They will automatically have so much more trust and respect built with you because now they can connect with you. They can connect with you on a more personal level, on a more emotional level, because they can see that you're like them. And people resonate and relate with people that are like them. I mean, you can say, hey, man, I know there's all this bullshit, all this stuff online about us being perfect, but at the end of the day, I'm another guy trying to take care of his family. People start to resonate and relate with that. And that builds trust and rapport amongst people, okay? And so a way that you can use damaging admissions, I'll just give you one example. Imagine you're cold calling somebody. And for example, you're cold calling a realtor. Now, this is a bit extreme, but like, just hear me out. Imagine you say to the realtor, hey, man, I'll be so honest with you. I don't give two shits about the real estate industry. I just happen to be really freaking good at running ads. And so while I don't actually care about real estate, I care about helping people. And I found that me running ads has helped a lot of people. And so despite the fact that, yeah, I want your money, I also want to help you make a bunch of money. And as a result of me making you more money, it makes me more money because I work off of a commission basis. And so, yeah, I'll be honest. I don't care about real estate, and I won't make up a cool sob story for why I'm trying to help you. I want to help you because I know it can make you more money, and as a result, I know I'll make more money as well. Is a great example of a damaging admission. It is where you admit a flaw about yourself before you then go and say the good thing about yourself to make people inherently trust more of the second thing you say. Because you've now, instead of just talking about the good, you've admitted something bad, which will then make them, as a result, believe the thing you said after. Hormozi said this famously in, I think, a podcast where he was talking about how when he used to sell supplements, what he would do in his fitness training is he'd say, hey, so-and-so name, here's the deal. These are the 3 supplements you need. However, this one right here, you can actually go down the road and get it for half the cost. It's the exact same quality. You just save a bunch of money. However, these 2, you need to buy here because they're the only ones that have this quality of this kind. And automatically, without even questioning it, the prospects bought the 2 that Hormozi recommended and went and bought the other one from a different place. Or even sometimes said, hey man, don't worry about it, I'll just buy all 3 of them here. Why? Because Hormozi was honest and he put the prospect first. Instead of trying to just be greedy and get the sale, he admitted a flaw that, hey, you can actually get these cheaper and better down there, but these ones you need here. Which then when Hormozi said the thing he wanted them to buy, they then believed him more because he admitted a flaw about the other thing. Which then caused them to actually believe when he said that these things were good. And so if you want somebody to believe you more, say something bad before you say something good. Admit something negative before you say something positive about yourself. Admit a flaw. Because it opens up and it's being real with people. And people can respect and trust and appreciate that. And then the last thing here is being honest with your intentions. You want people to trust you more? Be honest. Especially with your intentions. Let's go back to the cold calling, for example. Right? If you're cold calling someone, don't be afraid to admit that it's a cold call. If you want to build trust, you have to be honest with what you're doing. You can't tell them, oh, yeah, I'm not cold calling you, and then in 10 seconds go and pitch them. People don't respect that, nor would they trust you when you say that. So if you want to build more trust, be honest with your intentions. And I can almost argue that the more honest that you are, the further it'll help you, especially in sales processes. On my main YouTube channel, I talk all the time how selfishly my goal is to provide so much value in these videos that you'll like me enough to join my free community, and I hope that I can provide you so much value in my free community that you'll then want to apply for my private mastermind. And so I'm very open and honest with my intentions of what I'm trying to do. But it's also in a good way because I'm like, hey man, I'll be honest, I am trying to sell you, just not now. I want to help you first so much you like me that you then want to buy from me. Which is me being honest. They understand what I'm trying to do, but then they actually appreciate that. Because they go, oh, thanks, that makes sense. And I've had many people buy who have never even talked to or heard of before, who've just trusted me through that process. Okay, and the last thing here from this tweet is to be unique and creative. One of the things people really, really miss nowadays is the authenticity. People are trying to be they're trying to be authentically somebody else, which doesn't make sense. Like, you can't authentically be somebody else. You can only authentically be yourself. But people are trying so hard to be authentic, when being authentic at the end of the day is just being you for who you are. Good example of that is like what I'm wearing now. Like, I could have sat here and changed, but like, this is just who I am. And for context, 99.99% of the days that I work in my pajamas. Not this hoodie thing, but my pajama pants. The hoodie thing I wear at night because I have my AC on and it's cold, right? But like, That's just me being unapologetically, authentically just myself. And like, I will swear, is that the best thing to do? Probably not. But I don't give a fuck. Man, I'm so funny. But that's just because like that's who I am. And I'm not gonna try and put on a fake persona to try and make more people like me for the sake of them liking me. I just want to be me for me. And if somebody fucks with me for who I am, then they fuck with me. And if they don't, then that's cool. That's cool. And that doesn't matter either because the odds are why would I want to connect with you if you don't fuck with me for who I am? Right? I don't mess with people who I don't really mess with, right? And I'd hope people do the same with me. If they like me, they like me. If they don't, they don't, and that's fine because I don't need to be accepted and approved by the entire world, especially on the business sense. You don't need 7 billion people on this planet to accept who you are. You need a very small portion of them to just really accept you, and you'll make a lot of money. Okay, but the last the last thing to add on to that is like be you, just be unapologetically yourself and what you do. And like stop trying to put on a fake face, stop trying to be a certain way or do what Hermosi does or do what I do or do what somebody else does. Like stop trying to do what other people do and just do you. Like just do you for who you are and for what you actually think, not because of some belief that you had because of some other guy did it. No, you for you. Just be authentically yourself, and I promise you you'll be blown away with how much more people will start to trust you and resonate with you and really, really connect with you when you just focus on being you instead of anything else. Good night.